All right, y'all ready?
Yes,
Yeah.
Angela, you ready for the hate you about to get after this?
Oh my God.
I don't
Did you warn her? Did you warn her, Kill?
Did I warn her? Oh no, I really did. I apologize, Angela.
Welcome to the team, Angela.
I don't get a lot of hate. Everybody's nice to me.
I need to turn my camera off.
Turn the cameras off tonight. We good.
Just had the thumbnail up.
All right, y'all ready to rock?
Yes, sir.
All right. What's good? What's good? What's good? You tune on Apartment 5B, hosted by your man Kel. I got my squad with me today. As always, ladies first. Porsche, what's going on, miss?
Hey, how's it going?
Everything is good. I got to shout out my homegirl Angela. She writes for Hip Hop. What is it? Insomniac. What else?
And Weekly Rap Gods.
And Weekly Rap God. She's a sneaker addict. So you know, if you like hip hop and sneakers, we gonna connect somehow, somewhere. Definitely good looking for sitting in with us today. I got my man Gadget, Scratch Magazine. What's going on, fam?
What's happening? Happy to be here again.
I'm loving that hat, good brother. I'm loving that hat.
Yes, sir.
Rec, DJ Rec 1. What's going on out of Houston?
Ain't nothing, man. Just happy to be back home safely. I'm sick, but it's all good.
That's what it is. Nick, what's good, brother?
We starting off with big, right?
Already. Let me explain the time.
I'm loving that hat, Nick.
Likewise,
yes, sir.
Damn, March 9th just passed.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Let's get a chance to burn out the ATL. What's going on, fam?
Glad to be here, man.
All right. Here's the day's show. A couple of weeks ago, I sent out a tweet. I was talking about Prodigy. It would help if people watching have read the book, My Infamous Life. So I sent out a tweet. Me and one of my people was going back and forth. He said, "Yo, he lost so much respect for Prodigy when Prodigy got robbed and went home and cried to his girl." So I personally said, I don't have no problem with that. I mean, you got robbed. I mean, you cried. Like, it's okay. My beef was all the L's that Prodigy took throughout his career, God bless the dead, and there was never any repercussion for none of those, all that stuff. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm waiting for him to stab somebody with their nose bone. Like, you know, I'm waiting for something to happen because this is what P talks about. So the first group of people who got at me was the Prodigy stands. If y'all know anything about me, I know how to bring a stand up out of a rabbit hole.
Yes, you do.
They come out.
Yes, you do.
So,
you smoke them out.
yeah, I can bring out a stand if I want. If I feel like some stand days, we can get them. But so the thing is, the first thing the stands came was with all the excuses. Come on, Dunn. You don't even know. Maybe son ain't have his gun on him that day. You know what I mean? you don't know what Kinko had on him. I'm like, all right, you right. Other people was like, yeah, I don't know what half that Queensbridge stuff meant. Did Kinko, you know, Big Kill, nothing die? I don't know none of them niggas. But the thing is, then you had other people telling me, well, yo, come on, Kill. You know, Prodigy you can't move like that in the industry no more. You can't just be, you know, beating people up, which is totally nonsense to me, because if you came up in the 90s, early 90s, you would know so many rappers would go to the source with their crew and beat down people for their mic ratings. People, you saw Ice Cube and Straight Outta Compton, people going to their record labels. It was a point where Uptown,
the sound man.
Yeah, the sound man used to get beat down. Everybody used to get beat down. To the point, I remember there was Andre Harrell had the Fruit of Islam at Uptown Records doing security because it was getting so bad. So I just don't understand this whole, you know, you can't move in the industry like that. Last time I checked, Jay-Z stabbed in the club. Like, yo, and there's not a point in time that you could tell me that Jay-Z, even when he was doing Hawaiian Sophie, didn't have more to lose than what Prodigy would have to lose. You know what I mean? And then the worst part about Jay, and this is why I love Jay, because Jay actually then rapped about it in 2 songs. Like, that's audacity. He rapped about it on Welcome to New York City on Cam's joint, where he was like, the judge, is this that thug from the Kit Kat Club? But I got enough backed up to make that back up. And then rhymed about it on Dear Summer. Like, Lance, you know, I'm not trying to make you the butt of my jokes. Like, yo, this dude stabbed somebody. And then rapped about it twice. Now, here's the thing. My spidey sense is going off. And some stand out there right now is saying to himself, well, yo, Nas did tell you that somebody else stabbed and made Jay take the blame for it. And you know what? Let's just say that's true. I'm a moral and story person. Somebody did something to Jay-Z. Somebody stabbed that nigga for it. So whether it was Jay, whether it was his friend, there's a repercussion. And I don't want anybody out there thinking like, Kill, you're inciting violence. Anybody who knows me knows I work in the hood. I work with kids. I'm totally against that. But you can't talk this much trash and get this many L's thrown at you and not do anything about it. So we're going to, one, I want to talk about these stands. Where do y'all think these stands come from that they just make up excuses for their rappers? Another example. I'm venting. This is going to be real quick, y'all, and then I'm going to shut up. Back in 88, I love Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane to me was the greatest MC ever who walked the earth. I had a high top fade. They used to call me Big Daddy Kill. I loved Big Daddy. Not to mention, Kane was like the Rosa Parks for dark-skinned men because nobody was messing with us. True story. True story. Y'all don't understand. First grade to 8th grade, I got killed for being dark-skinned. Okay, I know all these people nowadays be like, "Yo, I don't understand." Yes, I got destroyed for it. And then Kane and Rakim. So Kane to me is like the Rosa Parks, the dark-skinned dude. I loved it. But when Tasted Chocolate came out, we all was like, "Yo, that shit whack, man." And kept it moving. There was no excuses. It wasn't like maybe a problem or maybe him and Marley ain't work. It was just like, yo, it's whack. Yeah. And it was like, that's whack. And it was like, okay, the Prince of Darkness album came. We saw the cover. Listen, that's whack. And then we kept it moving. There was no excuses. So where do you guys, now you can't even have that without 50 million excuses. Angie, you're a guest with us today. Why do you think stands exist now? Why do you think, you know, you can't just say, oh, this rapper is whack now. It's going to be a million excuses. What you think?
I just think when people are loyal fans, they feel like they have to agree with it because that's one of their favorite rappers. I don't know. It's like they just, I don't know if I could say this on air, but they basically, they dick ride. That's they feel like they're showing their loyalty.
Such language on the show.
To me, I could just because I like an artist, I'm not going to sit there and say that I 100% agree with everything they do. If they made a move that I think is questionable or I wasn't feeling it, I'm going to be like, you know, just because I'm a fan of his doesn't mean I'm going to say, oh, 100% of everything he says and does is correct. But I think some people they're big on trying to be loyal. And then they just feel like their way of proving their loyalty is they just have to kind of agree with everything. And it's okay to disagree with something that your favorite artist did once in a while. It's exactly. I don't know if they think that it's going to make like they're, you know, some of them act like they're getting a check by defending. Like that's what I used to say when I would see people arguing online. I kind of stay off the arguments now because I'm older. I kind of don't get into that no more. But when I used to see it before, I would say stuff to people and be like, "You over here defending this artist like you eat at their dinner table? Like are they cutting you a check to speak on their behalf? Or you know, like what are you really gaining out of it?" I just think that's what it is. They want to just be loyal and they just want to dick ride. That's what I think it is sometimes.
No, I concur. I concur 100%.
I don't know if I was allowed to say that on air.
No. You are allowed to curse all night long. Gadget, what you got for us, good brother?
I think with the advent of social media and the mob mentality where nobody can be wrong, like Rihanna has the Navy,
right?
Like I think social media has brought people closer to these artists, and they feel like they know them personally.
You laugh because I'm part of the Rihanna Navy. Yeah. That's what
you are.
Navy, right? She know I don't like it.
Nick's the captain of the Navy right here. He's got the captain. He's got.
I don't like the music now. Let's not get it twisted, but she's sexy as hell. That's where it ends with Rihanna.
Yeah, but Rihanna, like to Rihanna's fans, she can never drop a whack album.
No, you're right.
Like I'm a fan of Raekwon, but Immobilarity was the wackest shit album he's ever done. Like, and I can say it, I'm a Raekwon fan, but that album was horrible. Right. And I love Raekwon, and I can say that. I can say that I wasn't feeling Dilla when he first came out. Like I didn't like Electric Circus.
Oh well, shit.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't the only one.
Yeah,
you ain't the Lone Ranger.
Now, I think you bring up a great point when you're like talking about those navies and the beehives and the Nicki Minaj got a crew to the Barbies. You know what I mean? Like when we was growing up, we didn't have the Canes. You know, we didn't have the or I'm a caner. You
we didn't have social media. All we learned about hip hop was through the source.
Word.
In Rap City.
I think even if we had social media, I just think it was something about us that we were able to say, well, no, you're right. Because with social media, you're right. People really, I think they're hoping that if they defend them, then maybe the person will chime in and then they'll be like,
them backstage.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. You're absolutely right. Social media does play that extra part of it being like, I gotta watch what I say because I'm trying to get backstage with Kane and them, which is still bad because one of the worst stories I've ever heard was Dave East. They asked Dave East, which like one of the craziest stories. He said, I was signing autographs and this dude pushed his girlfriend out of the way to get in a picture with me. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, that's where we're at. When you go to meet a rapper with your girlfriend and you push your girl out the way so you can get in the picture with the rapper first. Like,
dudes are the worst groupies there are, bro.
For real.
Oh, that is
some of the ones
thing you've ever said,
guys.
Vern.
That's groupie love for real.
Yeah.
What about you, Rack? What you think?
I think it's like everybody said, man. Social media makes you feel like you know these people, and you don't. You only know what they allow you to see, what they allow you, what they type, what they show you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know anything about these people. You don't know if that Maybach they got to go back to the Alamo spot tomorrow because they rented that joint for 30 days. You don't know these things. And this generation, this is what they live off of. We didn't live off of this. Like you said, it was the source, word of mouth, your cousins from down south, your cousins from up north, your cousins from the West Coast. That's how we learned about everybody's different culture by experience. They learn about it from this. And if they don't have this, then that's it. So they feel that they can say and do things that we would never do as adults and even as a culture. Just being a part of this, I've seen some things. I'm like, man, I don't think we would ever feel the need to say certain things, but they do. They feel the need to back up the people that they rock for, that they stand for.
Right.
Figuratively and literally stands. That's what they are.
Yeah. I got a new name for them. I'm calling them walkers. Like on I ain't even gonna call them stands no more. They walkers, man. We gotta get rid of them. I think one of the biggest Walker incidents I had was when I gave Benny the Butcher a 4.5.
Yes.
And somebody got at me like, yo, man, I thought you rock with Griselda. I'm like, yeah, I do. I love it. They're like, but yo, you gave it a 4.5. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm giving it a 4.5. They're like,
out of 5, right?
Griselda, you give it a 5. And I'm like, wow, like that's where we're really at a point where it's like, nigga, I thought you was a Griselda fan. Like, I'm a fan. I'm not a Griselda Army though. I'm not the Army or whatever. Griselda, the Buffalo Bills, whatever they are. I'm not that. I just like their music. But it was just like, wow, like you give somebody a 4.5, which is a great rating. And the first thing out people's mouths is like, damn, Kill, why you ain't give them a 5 if you really rock with them? But what you think, Nick?
No, same thing, man. I mean, everybody pretty much covered it. And even with artists that we like Nas, you can't say nothing bad about Nas because if they come out the woodwork. Like if Illmatic ain't your favorite album, if you don't say that album is #1, you're a hater. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can't say Nostradamus is trash. Like, what you mean, Nostradamus? I've seen somebody call Nostradamus a classic.
Yes,
straight up.
I will never forget that. I will never forget that, Nick.
Nas is my favorite rapper, but come on, man. At some point, you have to draw the line.
Right.
When were they born, though? That plays a part in it.
True, very true.
It does, but as a fan, if you say you're a fan, right, Gadget, shouldn't you be able to go back and listen to that artist's work?
No.
Prior to when you were born and all of that, and still listen to it and figure out. So no.
Only because you have to have your own experiences when that song.
And I understand that. But here's the problem that we run into, right? When we ask them why, how, whatever, right? They have no backing as to why these albums, these songs, these things are what they say they are.
Right.
It's just, hey, I'm a stand. and I'm dick riding, and that's what it is.
Like, to me, Gladys Knight's best song is "Love Overboard." My mother would disagree with that.
Your mother would slap you.
Slap you. That's what you do. She would slap you. Yeah. That's
I
like
agree.
saying,
I agree because
I love her or a woman in red.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
But it be cats our age too, though.
And that's the part that kills me. I don't mind the youngins because it's like,
it's understandable. Exactly.
But when the
our age.
But I got something later for the older heads. Porsche, what you think? Anything different to why you think these are out here?
Mean, in addition, I think maybe someone touched on it, but I think that it's two things like why I think is one, obviously social media is an accessibility thing, right? Now, celebs actually respond and they like and they retweet. And so that gives, I feel like that kind of drives stands too, because it's like, oh, I'm being noticed. So let me like, whatever harder. And so, like, and then I'll get noticed because they're searching their name or I'm adding them and they're seeing me. And secondly, I think the celebs have a part to play in this. Rappers, celebrities, whatever. There's a God complex there for sure. And I think that they behave in a manner where they can't do no wrong. And that trickles down to the stan base. Like they don't hold these people accountable for anything because the celebrities don't hold themselves accountable for anything. So for me, that's what kind of is the foundation of the stan bases. And I'm so sorry I have to bring this up every friggin' week, but that's exactly Cole's problem. I'm sorry, it's just the best example. He will never get a feature. He will never get an outside producer because his fans do not criticize him.
You don't like the joint with him and Bass, Portia? You don't like the joint with him and Bass?
I mean, I don't.
He's trying to get all the money.
Cole.
He ain't gonna pay no people. I'm getting all the money.
I mean, I feel you. I feel you. Burn.
Yeah. Anyways.
So Porsche pretty much hit on what I wrote down. Idol worship. That's where we are. We worship idols. Well, not we, but I mean the general public. Celebrity and idol worship. They don't worship God. They worship rappers. And entertainers and celebrities, and they listen to them. I mean, you remember? I mean, Jay-Z taught people that you got to pay your bills on time and love your wife. You 40-something years old, and it took him to tell you got to love your wife and pay your bills so you have good credit. Really? Man. And there's a rapper that will remain nameless, but I didn't care for him, but social media just blew him out the water for me. This dude really gets on social media and says things like fans should appreciate whatever I as an artist do because I'm the like whatever I do is you're worthy. I mean, you're not worthy to be in my presence. If Lauryn Hill comes to concert 3 hours late because she's an artist and her like if you don't get up out of here, Mr. Brinton is what I'm talking about.
I figured I was about to ask you where you was going. I knew that.
Lord, he spend more time arguing on Twitter than making music. But
correct.
Correct.
Nah, and I think too, Porsche and Burn, y'all bring up a good point with the artists that somewhere along the lines, the artists, like you said, kind of need to be held accountable somehow, some way for these. But I mean, I guess it's like you said too. I mean,
because the fan, to me, the fan feels entitled because they streamed your album 10 times.
Right.
Like, no, I felt entitled when I bought Heavy D's album, the physical copy.
Right.
Like, you just streamed the album. How do you feel entitled?
Well, I mean, too, by what I mean by with the artist is that, to me, how I'm always like, the artist always put that trick, like you said, Vern, that as the artist, you should support me no matter what I put out. And it's like a restaurant saying you should still come no matter who cooks the food. Like, if the food is bad, I'm kind of slow-mo to keep going, right? Like, if I keep going to Red Lobster and I'm like, yo, the food sucks. Yo, Kill, what you doing tonight? Going back to Red Lobster. Nigga, like, the food ain't good. And, so to me, that what you said, Vern, is so important because the artists are like, oh, well, the people don't like it because they don't want me to grow. And it comes back to at the end of the day, I got to this thing today about with Pusha and Malice. And some dude was like, well, you don't like Malice because he's talking about God. And I'm like, why wouldn't I like him because he's talking about God? I don't care what you're talking about as long as it's dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I won't hold you. That Malice album, the first one, I felt like he lost a step lyrically. Cats blew me up today. Like, nah, you gotta listen to the new album. I listened to the new album. Still felt like he lost a step lyrically. The beats was whack. The choruses was whack. And they trying to tell me, well, nah, that's Kill. That's because you want that drug rap. My G, don't tell me what I want. Like, dog, I'm happy with him talking about God, but the way he's talking about God, and this is a whole nother topic for a whole nother show. One of my beefs with Christian gospel rap is they just do it corny. That's the moral to the story. It's corny.
Yes.
People say gospel rap can't make it. No, gospel rap was making it. What was Brand Nubian's first album? That was gospel rap. It just was about a lot.
Doesn't Lecrae do gospel rap?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, but
Sean Burgundy does too.
But at the end of the day, even with Lecrae, like his beats don't bang the way I want beats to bang. You know, it's almost like we doing music about God and Jesus. We got it.
You're gonna accept it. You're gonna accept it because
And I'm like, yo, that's great. Talk about God, but do it over a banger. Like that's all I'm asking for. So, but that's that. So good. That's the first thing when I talked about P was the stand. Now, the second group of people who came at me was like, damn, Kill, what you believe in the Easter Bunny? You believe in Santa Claus, nigga? Like, yo, these rappers be lying. Like, you believe everything rappers say? Hey, guess what? Call me naive. I do. Why do I do? Because I grew up in the 80s. So for a lot of younger people who grew up in the 90s, when people are like, yo, I grew up on Nas and Jay and Big. I was an adult when Nas, Jay, and Big were out. So I grew up on rappers like the Fat Boys, who, guess what? Were fat and they ate. So, you know, I grew up in an era where Houdini was Houdini. Run DMC, Kid and Play was Kid and Play. Salt-N-Pepa, you know, I grew up in a lighthearted time of hip hop, which I miss, where you could take Cinderella, a fairy tale like Cinderella, and Dana Dane could turn it into Cinderfella Dana Dane, you know, or where the Fresh Prince could take the I Dream of Jeannie theme and make it into Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble. So I can understand like a younger dude was like, yo, Kill the 80s, man. I respect you, OG, but the 80s was whack. Y'all was corny or whatever like that. And I'm just like, bro, I can understand it. Because if you were raised on Heinekens and blunts and army suits and nobody dancing and everybody ice grilling each other, then yeah, I would look at a Kid and Play video like, look at these two idiots dancing like they some cool something. But at the end of the day, that was hip hop for me. So yes, I do believe what these people say. So brings in the conversation of, should we believe what rappers say? And the beef that I have is that I feel like the older generation, my generation, now becomes like these hip hop elitists, because I'm about to be 45 next month. So you become this hip hop elitist. It's like, Kill, how dare you believe Mobb Deep? You believe those little midgets did anything? And I'm like, wait a second, stop. Who listened to The Infamous when it dropped? And when Parties Over went off, thought to yourself, these some lying ass niggas. I don't know anybody. Now, again, that's why I love doing this podcast, because people are from all over. All I know is at Morgan State, New York, Philly, Jersey, if you loved Mobb Deep, and God forbid if you was from Queens, like there's no way that you can sit here now and tell me, man, I knew Mobb Deep wasn't fake. Somebody told me, well, Mobb Deep, I knew they wasn't thugs because they short. That just lets me know that you ain't. That just Rack, I'm dead ass. That lets me know that you ain't run the streets, because I know
I'm 6'5", so everybody shorter than me. So
you will knock a 6'5" foot nigga out cold.
Yes.
And here's the other thing about short dudes I know in the hood. They don't got it all upstairs. That Napoleon complex is real. So even if they ain't nice with their hands, they will grab a brick and knock you upside your head. So the whole, well, they short, that didn't do it for me. So tell me this. Who did you believe Mobb Deep? Do you believe what rappers talk about, Nick? I'm going to start with you, because I know you told me you don't believe nobody. So, Nick, why don't you believe anybody? And when you heard The Infamous, did you walk away like, these two little short lying niggas?
No, at that point, I didn't know how tall he was. You know what I mean? Yeah, but just listening to rap, because rap just got very extreme, and we always talk about it. When Niggas for Life went #1, that's when the explosion of gangster rap happened. So cats just wanted to be more extreme. Or he killed 30 niggas on his record, I'm gonna kill 50 niggas. Then the next time I'm gonna kill 100 niggas on my record. So it's like listening to those records, like if you did all of what you say you did, you wouldn't have a record. We wouldn't be listening to you because you would be dead or in jail. That was I always took rap as entertainment. I never sat there and believe, and maybe because like my dad and uncle was like, you know, this stuff ain't real. That I always had that with listening to music, so I never took the rappers at their word for, you know, Kool G Rap is a perfect example. If you listen to On the Road to Riches, and then you listen to what was the second one, Wanted Dead or Alive, it's like two different albums.
Oh, even to me, even with G Rap, it was a lot about cursing. But by the third album, that's when he was just like full mafioso type thing. By that third album with On the Run and all of that, now we got
robbery and it's like it's entertainment and that's cool. It ain't nothing wrong with it not being for real. You know what I mean?
Right. And I think for me, like I said, growing up in the 80s where hip hop was so much more jovial, you know, and nobody was really lying yet. You know what I mean?
More realistic.
Right.
You didn't have like common stuff.
It was like wrestling with me. Like in 1984, when I was 10, you could not tell me wrestling was fake. Like I swung on my cousin when he told me wrestling was fake. Like you ain't gonna tell me Nikita Koloff ain't almost died yet last week. Dusty Rhodes is not in critical condition right now. And I got the tube back in. So yeah, I get it, Nick. I get it. Angela, what about you? How were you raised in hip hop? Do you believe that these rappers rap about? And again, let me say this too. I believe that there should be a place for embellishment.
Yeah,
you know, there's a difference between embellishment and then flat out lying. Yeah. Like embellishment to me is like a rapper saying, I killed 5 people, maybe you shot at 3. I'll give you that as embellishment. To me, a flat out lie is when all you did was sell weed and you talking about you a drug dealer. Like, to me, you the weed man. Like, I have never called anybody who sold weed and called myself, you're a drug dealer. Yeah. Like, to me, drug dealer, when Jay-Z said they sent National Guards to get me, they ain't sending National Guards for no nicks and dimes. So that to me is a flat out lie versus embellishment. I don't mind an embellishment, a little spit polish on your rhyme, but flat out lying, I can't do it. Well, Angie, what about you?
I think it's a mix of entertainment and like real life. I think a lot of people incorporate both in their raps. And I dissect a lot when I listen to music. So there's like certain people where I could kind of tell, I feel that whatever they're rapping about, it's something that they actually lived. And then there's other people where, I mean, some of the best rappers that I know out there, and I won't like name drop, but some of them, it's very obvious that they're not, it's like storytelling, you know? So I just think it just depends. But I think a lot of times people incorporate both. Like sometimes half of the stuff they're saying is something that they lived. And the other part of it is like what other dude said, that it's entertainment also. You got to keep everything exciting and, you know, like make people want to stay tuned in. So you're going to probably say certain things that's going to make you like, you know, it's going to make you sound a little better out there. Right. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know anyone in particular that's flat out lying, but I do know that there's some people that like in the current scene that I listen to, like the newer wave, there's a lot of people where people are like, oh, I really like this artist. He's one of the top guys out right now. And you could tell when you listen to what they're rapping about, it's, you know, it's like fantasy or they're talking about crime scene getaway stuff. And you know that they're not all doing that, but they don't really get docked for it, you know, because people are just like, hey, he's really good like at rapping. And I think people know that some of it is like fake, but they don't really make a big deal over it all the time. I think the only time people really make a big deal over it is if it's something really obvious and it just really just comes off really gimmicky. Then people are gonna be like, that's bullshit. Right. But I think certain people, if their delivery is good and they just like they're a good MC all around, sometimes people don't always trip off of that, even though they know it's kind of obvious that it's not straight up all real what they're rapping about.
Right. And it's funny you said that because I wrote down when you hear it, you just know. I kind of feel that way about Griselda. You know what I mean? Like, some people will be like, well, Kill, come on, you're 44. You don't believe these people anymore. And I'm like, I kind of still do. Like, I kind of believe Westside Gun. I'm not saying they killed everybody. I'm just saying I got a feeling that Benny knows how to cook.
You could see it when they rap. You could look at their faces and you could tell by like they've been through some shit.
Yes.
Right.
Some cats you can tell been through it. Yeah.
And they had to transition from being out in the streets like that and then now become rappers. It was a transition. Like, yeah, for sure. They really been through some shit. You could tell, like, by their emotion and the way that they rap. And like, even when you look at them when they perform, you could see it in their face. They really been through some shit. So
yeah,
I feel you. What about you, Gad? What do you think?
Look, Benny said he'll spray the driver's side like the car wash.
Right. Driver's side like you trying to wash the windows, man.
Oh man. I just look at it as entertainment. Back when I thought wrestling was real, like you couldn't tell me SD Jones wasn't about to win every match,
right?
And then all of a sudden hit the turnbuckle and knock himself out. Like, but I mean, rap now, like I don't believe anything, but I don't have to believe anything because I don't look at it for believability. There's only one rapper that I believe everything he says, and that's Keith Murray. Keith Murray is a fucking nut. I believe everything that nigga rap about.
Yeah, you can tell when some dudes be in and out of jail. You know them niggas.
I believe everything Black Rob says.
Yeah, because we ain't seen Black Rob in about 15 years. Oh man, Celebration is the last day of Black Rob.
Yeah, it's what Angie said. Like you can just look at them, or you can hear something in them that you don't see in nothing else. Like you don't see in somebody else.
Yeah, and I've been around Keith Murray, and that's why I know. Like some of the shit he raps about is very true. I would say probably 80% of the stuff he raps about is true.
All right. So Keith is the only rapper you believe
in Black Rob.
And Black Rob. What about Griselda? What about Westside and Conway and Benny?
They probably did some of the stuff. I don't know about murder, but I'm pretty sure, they robbed some other drug dealers and, shot somebody, but I don't know about now,
Right. I mean, of course not now.
It's too much money on the table now.
Right.
Right. Oh, and DMX. I believe DMX too. He never talked about he talked about robbing niggas. I believe he.
Oh yeah, he was robbing niggas in Baltimore.
Yeah, I believe DMX.
All right,
that's another one.
All right, so Gadget is Keith Murray and Black Rob, and Nick is DMX. The only rappers they believe. Yeah. What about you, Rack?
I got a couple, man.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I'm up to like 16, bro.
You don't have to break down all 16.
I'm not gonna break. I'll give you like two.
That you believe?
Yeah, that I believe MOP.
Yes.
Oh hell yeah.
Yes.
My father's side of the family is from East New York, Brownsville. I believe them wholeheartedly. It's not without a question. You would have to bust me in my left eye to make me believe that they was not doing half the stuff that they said they was doing. Yeah, so that's one.
But hold on, Rack. We gotta get to the groups. But do you believe it? Do you?
Yeah.
When you walked away from the Infamous, were you like, oh, this some bullshit? Queens ain't nothing, or was you like?
Nope. I was like, these two little motherfuckers done grown up, and they was busting cats in the head the whole time after they hit it from the back. Like straight up. Because I knew who they was. I knew who they were. I knew it was just a label situation and they was young. I knew who they were. I said, okay, these cats are stuck up.
And see, the funny thing is, to me, that there was an asterisk on Mob. Because at first I'm like, yo, the last time I saw y'all had
2 years old.
And was dancing in house parties. And the next thing I hear is Shook Ones. And I'm like, yo, what just happened there? Like, bro, you done went from, it was almost like when Tragedy was the intelligent hoodlum.
Yes. Became Tragedy Gaddafi.
Yes. That nigga was Tragedy Gaddafi. Yes. Like, you went from arrest the president, he the drug dealer, to you the drug dealer.
Yes.
So, I know rappers they spin on things.
Change his name to Iman Shumpert.
Right. Stupid.
Hey, his verse on LA though.
What? They kill that.
Yeah. And I mean that's not nice. But it was just about that at that time. I'm always big about the time in hip hop is that was when everybody wanted to be a drug dealer, and it wasn't cool to be pro-black anymore. So if you came out under that pro-black X-Clan Public Enemy, Yeah, you know, and that's when he came out. So it was kind of like, okay, do I stay with this pro-black? That's why I always respect Chuck D to this day, because he never changed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Hey, but if you found out them X-Clan dudes
Hold
had
on,
white
hold on.
wives.
Oh yeah.
Whoa. We're gonna talk about that. Hold on.
All right. That's all about X-Clan. Nick, so you don't believe nobody but DMX.
So when I say I don't believe them, it's like I know they grew up in the hood, and I do believe they have like cats around them that have done the things that they rap about. It's the rappers themselves I'm talking about.
Okay.
They definitely got some.
Well, tell me this: do you like when you heard about all these L's? Like, even if you didn't read the book, just hanging with me for the past 3 years, you've heard about all the L's Prodigy took. Is that surprising to you in the least bit? Like, I'm sure you would be shocked if you found out Little Fame got robbed and took all these L's. Were you shocked, like, by Prodigy took all these L's and ain't nothing happened? Like, this dude ain't like come back not one time?
No, you know why I wasn't shocked about Prodigy? Because of the pushback he got from some of his own people when the book came out. So I don't know how much. I feel like Havoc was more respected because he was from Queensbridge,
right?
Than Prodigy. You know what I'm saying? Prodigy was
great point, because I got that written down here too. Do y'all even care where people from? Because remember, this nigga from Hempstead.
Correct.
And then it's funny, one of my homeboys who's a Prodigy stan, and I tell him about it all the time. He was like, "Yo, but Kill, he told you that on Party's Over." I'm like, "Yeah, he did say, and I'm from Hempstead, but nigga, he shouted out Queensbridge 150 other times." You know what I mean? So, you like Nick? Do you have a problem with this nigga saying Queensbridge 150 times, and he from Hempstead?
Nah, because I'm sure he was in Queensbridge with Havoc all the time.
Okay,
but he didn't grow up in that environment either, and that's why I think he got the pushback when that book came out, because he didn't have that same level of respect that Havoc has.
I heard a podcast that Prodigy was on. He said Havoc actually kind of baited him somewhere. He was going to rob him.
Yeah, that's how they met.
Yeah.
Wow.
I never heard.
He was going to rob him at school. Yeah, at whatever school they met at. The initial meeting was supposed to be a robbery.
I think they went to LaGuardia High.
Yeah.
All right. I know they went to some art school or something like that. That's another reason why I ain't believe them, because I'm like, I don't know if you can go to, perform in art school and then be killing people on the train. Like
somebody else's favorite rapper did.
Who's that?
I ain't gonna say that.
Oh man.
Mark, you gonna bring up something and then I say, Porsche, what about you? You believe these rappers, Porsche?
So it's a little different for me because I'm in sheltered Canada. So for me, everything we heard about the States was like, it's mayhem. It's like a war zone. Guns are out of control. People are dying left, center, and right. Like, as a kid, and remember, the very first genre of music I was ever exposed to was rap. So I'm sitting here in this little, entire country that looks like, I don't know what, Pleasantville or something. And these people you're hearing it from every person that you talk to and the news. And then these rappers are rapping this on wax. And so you're like, oh my God, yeah, it must be like that. Like, this is insane over there. Like, we were scared to go to the States, cross the border. But then obviously, I have an older brother. And he was like, this is much like Nick. He was like, this is all bullshit. None of this is true. They're entertainers. So then when it comes to Mobb Deep, did I believe them? No, not really. And the reason for that is exactly what you said, Kill, is Prodigy's taking all these L's and Havoc by association, and nothing is happening to they're not even saying anything. It's not even that there's no physical retaliation, but there's really no verbal retaliation either, you know? Right. So that was, previous to that, there's obviously, you don't believe in everything you hear, but yeah, specifically with Mobb Deep, no, I didn't believe them at all. Because for those exact reasons.
Yeah, and it's funny that you bring up the book again, because I always say it should have been called My Infamous Life of Coulda, Woulda, Shouldas, because the whole entire book is I was about to fill in the blank, but in the blank, the entire book. And I remember the part that killed me the most was when he said that the group he signed to his label, Bars and Hooks, robbed Havoc's house and then came back to Queensbridge selling Havoc stuff. And I'm like on the edge of my seat with the book. Like, finally, like somebody is gonna get shot. Somebody is gonna. And then I turn the page, and he's like, "Yeah." So I dropped him off the label. I was like, "I'm done." I'm like, "Nigga, pick up a rock at somebody. Throw a snowball at somebody. Dude, at somebody, please, before this book ends. Like, hit somebody with a snowball, my nigga. Like, you have done nothing. You have been robbed of your chain. Keith Murray has snuffed you. You have been everything." And what happened?
No, he said Keith Murray.
See what I mean?
Yeah, but and then the thing about P is he'll say it in a little rhyme because he said that. He said something like, "Yeah, Keith Murray, you stuffed me in front of the cops." That bullshit. Like he'll admit, and that's the thing I will give him credit for. I guess is that you admit to yourself. Like there's no way I'm that publisher. Like, dog, we ain't putting this book out. Like you cannot put this book out and then still be looked at as my infamous life. Like, bro, you didn't do anything. Like a third grader throws a snowball, like deals with a bully better than you did.
Hey,
what's up?
You know who hurt my heart?
Who's that?
Saigon. When I seen him hop on the back of that security guard and run out of SOB, nigga, I was like, oh, this can't be the yard problem. You don't see the video?
Yeah.
When he punched Prodigy in the face
and took off.
Oh my God, yo!
But it was either that or get stomped out. You know what I'm saying? So
see, yeah, it's what. At least I got through a punch. That's all I wanted by the end of the book. Is I don't care if P just threw a punch and missed. Like, just do something. Like, kick the nigga, do the karate kick. The Jaden, do something, bro. Like, just don't keep letting people take your shit. And worst of all is then you keep rapping about it. You know, so it's not like it was like, okay, I got my shit took, let me fall back. It was like, I got my shit took, let me talk even more shit. But neither here nor there. Vern, what do you think? You're a year older than me, so do you believe in rappers what they were saying?
No, I'm gonna tell you why. Because all my favorite rappers are regular cats.
That's true too for me.
Yeah. You know, so I knew. I'm like, dude, I'm not. I mean, I ain't finna act like I'm a thug on here, but I'm from Gary, Indiana, and College Park, Darby Road. I know dudes that snuff police officers, and doing bids. I mean, real gangsters. And these dudes that I hear on rap songs, like, bruh, y'all talk too much. That's the first thing, Nah, I know there's a difference between entertainment and reality, and pretty much any rapper, I ain't really believe it, and that's why. And now you probably gonna get to this later. That's why I laugh at cats who try to down Ross. He selling all these drugs. He was a correction officer. Okay, so if we put your favorite rapper under a microscope, it ain't gonna pan out good for him. So the goalposts keep moving depending on whether you like the rapper or not. Exactly. But like I said, I might be getting ahead of myself. But nah, I don't like loud rah-rah cats. That's just my personality. So I ain't believe him.
Yeah, I think I got stuck in the 80s where, like you said, it's the way I was raised. If you rap about it, like what Jay said, you couldn't talk about it if you ain't live it. You know what I mean? And somewhere along the lines, of course, that got skewed. Tell me this. Give me a rapper who, if you found out that they rap about was not real, again, doesn't have to be violence. You could say, hey, I ain't like Prodigy because he lied about Queensbridge, or here's the other thing, and Gadget will tell you this because Gadget lives out here with me in Maryland now, and he's from Philly, so he'll understand this perfectly. Philly and DC to me are the two states, and again, it could be everybody. Atlanta may feel like this too. We don't claim nobody who ain't from Philly.
Right.
Like, we just don't. Like, think about this. Kobe Bryant, maybe one of the best basketball players ever, claims Philly, and we don't want him.
No,
like,
we don't want that nigga.
He's from Lower Merion. Like, we don't want him, and it's the same thing in DC. DC don't want nothing to do with Kevin Durant, nothing to do with Steve Francis. They from Maryland. Do not try to say you in DC from Maryland. So that is a very serious issue. Like, they even did a cover of the Philly magazine with Kobe on the cover to try to mend the bridge. It was the worst selling magazine in the history of that magazine. Like, we don't want Kobe. So people are very big up on, Yo, you're killing me, Rack, with this Wanye is from freaking Jersey. Like,
Jersey, man. He's from Williamsboro, New Jersey, bro. Look it up. If you need documentation, I will get it.
Nah, I'm good. I'm just saying, you're killing me because this nigga has never said anything about Williamsboro in like 100 hours.
Hawthorne Park, bro. Hawthorne Park.
So, Andrew, tell me this. Give me a rapper or a group that it would crush your heart if you found out that what they rap about is straight up and down fake. This ain't no embellishment. It's fake.
Who did you talk that to?
Angie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Does it have to be somebody that's dead or alive, or it doesn't matter?
No, it doesn't matter. Whoever. Whoever you.
I would be disappointed if it was like Big L. Okay. If everything he rapped about turned out to not be true, I would be like, wow.
Right.
I think it would probably be Big L.
All right, no doubt. Gadget, who you got?
Prepare to be hurt. I brought this up earlier. X-Clan.
Oh, brother, we're prepared to be disappointed because they were known to frequent
dabble in white skins.
Now here's the thing. Quick question. Just playing devil's advocate. Now here's the thing. Can you be pro-black?
No. I already know the question.
Can I say my group real quick? Can I say my group real quick?
Hey, Nick, who you got?
I was gonna say a similar group. If I found out Dead Prez is out here sleeping with white women, eating pork, I would be hurt because of what they represent. Dead Prez would crush me if I found that out.
Polar bears can't swing on the vines with the gorillas, please.
Gorilla, yeah. Oh, brother.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they had a Neapolitan party after for real.
Yo, y'all rough, man. Y'all rough.
If Brother Jay came out and married a white woman from Sweden, I'd be looking at the nigga sideways. Not that I have anything against that, but what he raps about and his private life is crazy.
No, I'm sorry. I had to mute myself, man. I'm sorry. Oh, shit.
So Chuck D can't have a white wife.
No, not at all.
Not Chuck D.
That's my pick.
Flavor Flav can do that.
Yeah, Chuck D is the one that I would be crushed.
Y'all do know that white people helped us with slavery. There were abolitionists.
Yeah, Bean Pie, my brother. No.
There's no Underground Railroad without white folk. Like
Chuck D cannot be married to Felicity Huff.
Hell no.
No, man.
You best have some melanin, brother.
This a rough crowd, man. This a rough crowd. All right, so
that's it. Because as far as like hardcore rappers, I don't believe them no way.
Yeah, exactly.
If I found that it was fake,
people looked at Common when he dated that white woman. Crazy.
Oh yeah,
who he date? That was white.
The chick from Jurassic Park.
I don't watch too much.
She's not even tight.
Bro, that's usually the case, but that's another story for another day.
Oh, he was tripping regardless.
All right. So what I learned now is don't say nothing pro-black around y'all, but like white women, because that's not gonna fly with y'all. Y'all are more offended by the black man with the white woman than these people out here actually shooting 100 people. Like y'all.
I didn't say that. You can't just like you can't.
Oh.
Hold up, Vern, you got frozen.
Bro,
shit. Vern like that new cell phone commercial.
About to say something that you don't need to say tonight. Maybe that was a sign from God. Maybe you gonna have
y'all saying too much about
white people buy houses too, Vern. Okay.
I don't know if it was a sign from God, but
I ain't got no
white people buy houses.
White people control the internet.
No, I'm just saying you can't. For Chuck D would hurt me the most because not necessarily for him dating a white woman, but I'm just saying if he didn't walk in the way he talked, just from a whole overall standpoint, that would hurt me.
Yeah,
man, y'all are rough. It's a rough audience,
dude,
man.
You can't see rap "Fight the Power" and have a white wife next to you?
But he said "Fight the Power" like 30 years ago. Like it don't matter. It ain't no time limit on this. So now I'm fighting it. I'm beating it.
Ain't no statute of limitations on that.
Like Lord Jamar, if he had a white wife.
Yes.
I was just gonna say that.
Hey, and I would not be surprised.
Oh damn.
All right. So we got it. We got a lesson from the data I've learned. No pro-black white women. What about Most? Can Most have a white wife, or is he?
No.
Most can slide with that. Most can slide with it.
I don't know that.
Most?
He ain't the most pro-black dude.
He's an actor.
Yeah, I think he can.
All right, Most can slide. Can Talib slide?
Oh
man. I mean, we already talked about him, so I'm gonna step out of this one.
All right. I've learned a lesson. All right, Nick, dead press for you and MOP and DMX. Porsche, what about you? Who would it hurt your heart if you found out?
You guys broke my heart. I've been dealing with this heartbreak for a week now, and it's Common. I can't deal with Common being this like womanizer. Or alleged womanizer.
No, ain't no alleged too.
Ain't no alleged. He out there slinging dick.
You see him with a new place on his arm.
Yo,
every week.
Serena Williams, Angela Rye,
the Jurassic Park chick.
Yo, she messed with Taraji. Went on there.
Yes. Festival video.
But he had legitimate relationships with them. That's fine.
Yeah,
but like
quick ones.
Someone said that he was like
the male Kardashian.
He was hanging with the Beat Nuts. Come on, they was going through him back in the 90s.
Like, this is Common who sings The Light. He's the one who said, "I'm a hopeless hip hop romantic." Like,
yeah, okay, and that's part of his game. That's part of the game.
Yeah,
yeah, to go into that.
All right, so you got Calm. What about you, Vern?
I said Chuck D, man. That's one brother that I believe. And then I would say Lil Fame and Billy Dance, and Bumpy Knuckles too.
Oh yeah. Bumpy. That's another
Bumpy
one,
for sure.
Yeah.
That's another. I think he'll put hands on you.
Yeah.
All right, here's the wild part, man. Y'all know me, man. I'm a marriage coach by night. Yo, if you can find love, and that love comes in a package of a different color.
I'm not
mad
on it.
No.
Yeah, I'm not hitting on it.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I'm not. If Chuck had a white wife, I'm not mad. Maybe that's just where he found love or whatever. The people I got, if I found out that Beanie Siegel, the Broad Street bully, was getting chased home from school every day, yes, I do believe Bean. Yes, he has been shot. He has been shot. He has done jail. I believe Beans. If I found out Beans, all this stuff was fake, I would be heartbroken. MOP. Same thing. If I found out these dudes went to Catholic school and got beat up every day, got their lunch money taken, I would be distraught. How do y'all feel about Lil Fame marrying a white woman? I ain't seen nobody tweet about that, though.
No, I told y'all that.
We value our lives.
Nobody can say anything about that.
We value our lives.
Because we believe MOP. That's why.
Right.
Anything. Fame can do whatever he
everybody
wants.
was quiet.
Yeah.
There's a knock.
They still be the picture. Everything was just quiet. Like,
at the door.
Hey, I got a picture of Chuck D's wife right here. We good, baby.
all right.
You can't see it.
Looked up the woman on Google.
Yeah, she's a professor. She's a
Good
professor.
job.
I knew she was a professor.
Good
yeah,
job.
We good.
Good job.
Yo,
good money.
y'all are a rough ass crowd.
Good job.
Y'all probably would have been mad if they married somebody light skinned.
No, y'all
No.
I posted that picture of Lil Fame white.
I wouldn't
Y'all
have been
got
mad.
quiet.
All right. Now here's the other people. I would be hurt if Griselda was fake. You know what I mean? I would be hurt if Benny ain't do no time, or well, he's got the pictures of him doing time, but you could do time in another way too, not a positive way. So, like, I would definitely be hurt with Griselda. Here's the thing: I got two people who got asterisks by him. Pusha. I don't believe Pusha ever was this drug lord. I'm people from whenever you're dealing with somebody from another state, somebody from that state is like, nah, Pusha grandmother and them was really about that life and woo woo. Maybe. I don't think I would be hurt if Pusha never did anything. Like if he never cooked crack, and this sounds bad. I don't want people to cook crack. But I'm saying, if you're rapping about cooking crack, then I would at least want you to know how to cook crack. Like if I came to Pusha T and was like, bro, let's make some crack, and he was like, all right, let's Google it, I would feel some kind
of
Google
it.
Yo, I mean, you'd be like, yo, I don't like if you say you a mechanic, nigga, fix my brakes. Like I'm gonna believe in you when you a mechanic. And the second one with an asterisk is Game, because I got a lot of homeboys from the West Coast who be like, yo, Game be riding around dolo with the gun on the front seat. Like Game be rumbling at basketball games. He be fighting everywhere.
Yeah, I totally agree with Game too. Yeah.
I would kind of feel like
I don't believe Game.
Like
but he a big dude.
Game corny to me, bro.
Exactly. He a big bully.
He's corny. He's corny.
Big cat.
I don't believe Game.
You know, but I mean, he's got the receipts. Like this dude is when
he got all the receipts. But
here's the thing. We're talking about two different things. Corny. Unbelievable. Like you could be corny. Game is corny. I mean, the nigga got
No, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about. I mean more so like he whack because I'm not talking about on record. I'm talking about the move he makes, like out in chicks that he messed with all that kind. Bro, that if you real dude, you don't do that stuff, man.
Yeah, I do. But again, we're just trying to talk about with Game. I'm just talking about his street cred. Now is he? Would you say, Gage?
Did you forget about the TV show he was on?
Yo,
man,
come on,
Love
bro.
Connection. Love Connection.
He was on Love Connection. He was a kid. Here's the thing that all I'm saying is that I think, if for me at least, if you give me a certain amount of receipts, then I'm good with it. You could be corny. Game is corny. When he first came out, all he did was name drop. I do think he is one of the most improved MCs because he has gotten better. But at the end of the day, I feel like Game has the receipts that we started the show about Prodigy because he doesn't have any receipts.
Hold on.
What's the receipt? What's the receipt you got?
He's only punched one rapper.
Raz Cass, who's 5'5".
No, two. He punched Raz Cass and the dude that's suing him right now.
Well, here's the thing. Man. I know that it was a video of him getting into it at the Drew League, which is like the West Coast rucker.
Yeah, he stayed getting into it.
And again, this could all just be made up of Crips and people in LA have said, yo, Game is about that life. Now, I can't call it. Maybe, Little Fame used to sing on the choir in church. I can't hold that against them. You know what I mean? Maybe his grandmother dragged him to church every Sunday. I can't hold that. Again, I wasn't one of the people mad at Prodigy with the Michael Jackson picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wasn't mad at that either.
Yeah,
I wasn't in the way that Jay said it is like you was a ballerina. Like that nigga had on tights. He didn't have on tights. He was
he was a kid.
Right. So those are my people. And I would have to say this. I would be upset if Jay-Z, if all of his stuff was fake. Do I think that he had such a name that they sent National Guards to get him? Nah, I think that can be some embellishment. But
right.
I think I've seen enough. Jay used to hustle in Camden. Jay used to do this. Jay used to do this down in Maryland. I think Jay has enough receipts. So I would be hurt if I found out that Jay-Z, was never about none of that, which could be just sort of like Prodigy. Because when I first heard Jay-Z, we're talking about the Can I Get Open. And between Can I Get Open and In My Lifetime, this dude just and Can I Get Open, he rap like and then In My Lifetime, this nigga on a yacht, sipping champagne, naked women everywhere and talking all this drunk talk. And I'm like, whoa, where did this come from? Like, bro, you was just doing the DOS Effects Iggity thing. So what is that about? So those would be the people: Beans, MOP, Griselda, Pusha Game, and Jay-Z. Nick, talk about Biggie, man.
Man, what we getting into? Like Biggie is one of the greatest of all time, and he never he gave you a couple of songs where I was like, all right, that's the real big. But for the most part, to me, he was entertainment, and ain't nothing wrong with that. Like he was movies on records. You know what I mean? He named himself Frank White. He was movies on records.
But here's the thing: do you feel like? Because I think when I think of Big, I'm thinking of street cred. You know what I mean? So then again, I'm looking at to me, Big talked about selling crack. I mean, according to what people say, he sold crack, right?
I mean, hey, if they said he sold, I can't say he didn't. I from Brooklyn.
I actually just Googled some stuff because I'm like, okay, in my mind,
but who's saying it? Is it like the people on his payroll? Because they're gonna say that.
Well, it says that he did 9 months in North Carolina.
Okay, there we go.
In 91.
Yeah.
He got a gun charge in '89. I mean, if we remember in the video, his mom found the drugs and threw it at him. You know what I mean? So he was a crack dealer. So,
she's gone on record to say that she's found it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I can believe it, but there's a difference between selling crack and being a drug kingpin.
And being Frank White. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Correct.
Like, yeah. So yeah, he probably did do some of that.
Yeah, I could believe he sold crack.
All right. So would you say Big lied or he embellished?
Embellished.
He embellished extreme. Yeah.
Extremely
Extremely. Vern, stop it.
Okay, pause.
He embellished extremely.
A kingpin is on the corner. A kingpin is on the corner.
No, but here's the thing. Let me ask a question, because this is the thing. I never took away from Big's rhymes that he was a kingpin. Like I took away that from Jay. When Jay talks in a manner of like, yo, I went to North Carolina and I took over the fucking city. Like back in the late 80s, early 90s, the big thing was niggas from New York coming down to Baltimore hustling. So all that shit with the wire and we gotta get rid of these New York boys, that's all true shit. So that was the thing coming down. I don't remember Big really saying I'm this drug lord.
You're right.
Who took over a town.
I just mixed up Frank White. I just mixed up.
My bad. Would you say, Nick?
He put out the gangster image and saying you're Frank White. Yeah. Anybody that's seen King of New York know what Frank White was.
Yeah.
So you know who he was modeling himself after. You know what I mean?
And to me, the greatest representation of Big's actual life was "Sky's the Limit."
Exactly.
That song was the exact. He lived exactly what he rapped in that song.
Yeah. Right.
I agree.
I feel you. What's up, Porsche?
I don't know if I agree with that entirely. I mean, yeah, I don't agree with that entirely.
Wait, you didn't believe he sold tigers on his shirt?
Yeah, that's like one of the like that song, Everyday Struggles.
Yeah, that's one of his realest songs.
Yeah, it's like that's the real Big.
Yeah, like keep in mind, I didn't think after Warning, like we said, it's like
it's entertainment.
You got your part of entertainment, and you got your rap. I didn't believe.
I definitely think Big was a studio gangster. I definitely believe that, but I do think that he was either very much involved with people who did a lot of stuff that he rapped about, and so he was witnessing it and recounting it. So he was maybe not about that life directly, but he was. Running with it.
So you mean like a Nas? Like Nas has always been like I kind of saw it and I rapped about it.
Yeah, like that's how I think Big was. And people have confirmed that that's how Big was. Like he did see and was exposed to that kind of thing. Valletta's confirmed that. Did he do, these things that he says, like in terms of, being this much of a gangster that he tries to be? Not really, probably not. Again, like Nick said, it's an embellishment, but I don't know. I don't think it was just "Sky's the limit." I think that's kind of a reach.
All right, so here's the thing. So somebody like Big. So are we mad at Prodigy for the way he rhymed and the way he represented himself through Infamous, through Hell on Earth, through Murder Music, put holes in your shirt like Jamaican clothes, all those threats.
I ain't mad about that shit. I took offense to that shit. Jamaican, fuck that nigga for that shit.
All he was saying was y'all wearing holes in your shirts. That's all he was saying. Saying I'm gonna shoot you. He just y'all Jamaican
representative over here, man. Fuck that.
But
here's a difference in my opinion, and correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like Big didn't try to look for beef or drama. In fact, when it came to him, he sort of diverted away from it. And people called him a bitch for it or whatever because of the whole Tupac thing. Whatever that whole thing is, it is what it is. The difference between him and Prodigy is Prodigy went and looked for it. And he addressed it, and but that didn't actually do anything. So you're sitting there going like, okay, there's a clear difference. So you can't really, I don't know. I just don't compare the two.
No.
Big and Prodigy to me are completely different in that regard.
I mean, I feel you. And I mean, I think for me, like I even said about the Jay-Z incident, even if Jay didn't do it, I don't, even at this point in your career for certain rappers, like I think sometimes people forget that Prodigy, this nigga was not going triple platinum. Like this dude was not this rapper who had so much to lose. Like, the nigga went to jail. I mean, like, so it's not like, oh my God, if Jay-Z goes to jail, Roc Nation fault. Like Right. It wasn't for that for P. So even if Big, but here's the thing, Big had people touched. There was a problem with OGC. Niggas went up in the studio and pistol whipped String Wonder.
Beat the brakes off that dude.
Yeah, that's what I said. You got
so again, but for me, like but even with P, that's why I was saying somebody got to do something. Somebody.
But that's why I'm saying he didn't have that respect level.
Right. And again, it shows even with his mural being vandalized so many times. I've never seen a rapper's mural get vandalized
several times.
Let alone
and quickly too.
Right. Angie, what do you think about Big? Did you have a problem with Big? Is this lying or is this, putting some spit shine on the raps?
I didn't have a problem with him. I do think he was more like entertainment. But I never thought of it like that it bothered me or anything. I just listened to it and I didn't really have any thoughts like that about him. He just reminded me of like Shiny Suit rap and entertainment for the most part.
Bad.
Biggie fan.
But Kill. Get it. Let me jump on what Ann just said though. So imagine that Shiny Suit, all that stuff is true, but Puff got more gangster moments than most of the gangster rappers out there.
That is true. You got a point.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Like I said, he went in there with Steve Stout, knocked him in the head with the bottle.
Champagne bottle.
Now, my problem with Puff goes deeper because my thing is I grew up in a neighborhood where you were who you were. So you can't get mad at Steve Stout and hit him with a bottle and then don't say shit to Suge for like 3 years. Can't pick your battle.
But I think he knew how to pick his battles too.
But again, like I said, but for me, the way I was raised and the people I was raised around, you don't get choice. If you want to handle your business, handle your business
all the time.
But don't just handle your business against your son's UCLA coach. I already want to get
oh man, bro.
Because of that. So I just wasn't raised like that. If you want to hit Steve Stout with a bottle, nigga, hit
Suge with a bottle.
At least throw it at him from the third row. I'm not like you got to get up on the nigga to hit him. Like hit him with a snowball. You got to do something.
You got to do something.
That's that game banging stuff though. That's what got Pac killed. You can't play around with that kind of stuff.
But to me, then if you can't, I respect that. If you can't play, then don't hit Steve Stout with a bottle. Whatever problem you had with Steve Stout, you should have been able to work that out the same way you was trying to work it out with Suge. You don't got to get gangster. But again, that's just how I was raised. But I know
you got to
raised that way.
You got to remember that moment happened after he kept that part in the video. He's like, "Yo, I don't want that in the video." Steve Stout was like, "Fuck you, I'm putting it in the video."
Hold on, what happened?
The Hate Me Now
video.
The part when they was God on the cross.
Oh, okay.
Out the video, and they left it in and premiered it that way.
Right.
And he went up in there that same day and tried to kill that motherfucker.
Yeah, my only problem is you could have had the same energy for Suge and you didn't.
No, because you're not going, you're not gonna have the energy.
Yeah, person, that's not gonna happen.
The energy's not there.
I feel you, but then I guess I'm just like, again, just me being raised. You can't play both sides of the fence. You can't be a Mets and a Yankees fan. You got to pick a team. So
wait, are we still talking about Puffy?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You gotta play smart.
I was trying to prove a point. Puffy will always play both sides of the fence in every situation. Never mind. That's another show. When we do a show about Puffy, then I can share my extended thoughts on.
It's gonna be Kill and Portia only.
Yeah,
I'm off on that. At the end, y'all have to go. I get we got MOP. This panel has a problem with pro-black people with white women. I mean, y'all do. I'm just keeping it funky. Y'all really do. Like,
hey, Kill. You know what's crazy?
What's that?
The so-called rappers who do party music have done more gangster shit.
That's the point.
Like Tretch owns New Jersey.
Right.
I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, I believe everything Tretch says. I think he's another one. I believe everything Tretch says. And the niggas from the Lost Boys robbed banks.
They did, but they're not from Jersey.
Cool seeing them niggas rob banks. Like they did.
He did.
I'm gonna
and kill the cop. Don't forget.
And kill the cop.
But and then it all comes down to, again, what the receipts mean for you. You know what I mean? Like for me with Prodigy, it wasn't that, you know, I expect you. I think Jay stabbing was stupid as hell. You know what I mean? I understand that at that point you should have somebody on your team who can do this for you. You know what I mean? So I'm not even saying I expect a Prodigy, but somebody who rolls Mobb Deep with all these Queensbridge niggas, somebody got to be. Yo, I'm 45, respectable old dude. If you come, when y'all come to my crib for a barbecue, y'all gonna be shocked. Y'all see fucking drug dealers, you see white people, you see gay people, you see peace people. Everybody's at my crib. You know what I mean? And the reason I'm saying that is because I have people on my team that be like, yo, Kill, if you need something handled for me, I can do that for you.
You got a Tata on your team? You got Tata on your team?
Nah. Great R. Kelly. This nigga got like he was coming from. Like you pepper sprayed somebody, my nigga? Like really?
Kill got reach, man.
And you publicizing this? Like you proud like y'all pepper sprayed that nigga. Like, yo, you ain't snuff him, you pepper sprayed him.
Like everybody needs a Tata.
I'm gonna tell y'all two of the realest dudes in hip hop.
I'm just saying that you gotta have, if I got somebody on my team who would do work for me, I know Mobb Deep, Biggie, all the Puffy. Come on, like we know the mob makes up half the record industry. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you got to have somebody to handle your business for you, and that's the most upsetting part for me. But I got it. We're good on all this. So is Big is good, or Big lied or embellished, or how?
No, he embellished.
All right.
I want his stands, not the fans, because I'm sure the fans get that.
Right.
The stands that go to bat for him, like he was a real king gangster of New York.
Right.
It was entertainment, man.
So
they never talk. They never talk about. They never talk about when 40 rented out the club, and Big thought he was about to perform, and it was just him and 40.
Exactly.
What happened to 40? Who that?
Yeah, he went out with
40 trash.
E40. Yeah.
Oh, E40.
E40. Right. E40. Yeah, that's legend right there.
I mean, I think a lot of times, and it's just like in life, the loudest is always perceived to be the illest. But you even think about don't hurt him, MC Hammer, bro. Exactly. That dude to get you stinking somewhere, dog. I mean, he's from East Oakland. Don't people associate what you rap about, what you put on wax with who you are, and it's usually not the same.
But to caveat on your point, man, being that I grew up in New York and New Jersey, I think what it is a lot of people, especially like New Yorkers, man, we sometimes forget that there's other places in the world, and when we throw that shit out there so quick.
Mm-hmm. I'm from New York,
and you totally forget that you're not home, and motherfuckers gonna show you real fast.
Hey, you remember that dude from at the Quick Trip? I'm rolling donuts.
Yo, did you see that?
Yeah.
People forget, man, that's not the only place in the world, and that's one of the things I've learned having traveled the world myself, man. Being from New York and New Jersey, that's not the only place that there is. So I've learned that, man, just from my own mistakes of being, you know, a New Yorker, a New Jersey cat. You learn that shit. Somebody gonna teach you that New York is not the only place. I love where I'm from. I love where I've been, but it's not the only place in the world, man. And somebody gonna show you real fast that somebody get it popping too. And that's one of the things that I think transcends to this rap shit too.
Yeah. All right. Good point. All right. So just before we leave, real quick. So if there's a new rapper, so like Nick, if there's a new rapper, like, because I feel like the good thing about Kanye, one of the reasons I put him down here real quick. I know everybody hates Kanye right now. I'm talking about the old Kanye. One of the things that I love that Ye did was I felt like he kind of brought hip hop back to the 80s, to where you didn't have to be like. I felt like he opened the door for. I'm sorry, Porsche. The Drakes, the Chance the Rappers, the J. Cole, the Kendrick Lamar. Because there was a time, and that's why I understand people who grew up on 90s hip hop, all they did was camouflage. There was no fun in hip hop. See, the 80s was about having fun. The 90s was not, there was no fun in hip hop in the 90s. Nope. Everybody was serious. Everybody was stomping somebody out. Everything was so rah-rah, you know, in the 90s. And I kind of felt like Ye kind of brought us back to where now we're at that point again where I believe Drake, because Drake don't really rap about nothing wild. Porsche, you don't believe Drake?
You think Drake started from the bottom?
Well, no.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I just need to be really, really clear about that because I'm gonna go. I have time.
No.
Oh Lord.
I'm not saying that he started from the bottom.
Lady of
I'm
Rage.
just saying that
Okay, I do
Farmville
believe that Drake cries, and I do believe that he melodically expresses his diary entries to his stands and swallowers, and I do believe that. But
Jazzy, it gets real.
Well, I mean, I believe that aspect, but I don't believe that Drake is.
Oh yeah, I don't believe he started from the bottom. I don't believe
he didn't start from the bottom.
Right,
he needs to correct that quickly.
It's almost like the old girl saying she the first made billionaire, Kylie Jenner or whatever.
Yeah.
What? I'm like, yo, that doesn't count. Like you come from money. You can't.
You can't claim that.
You were born on third base and think you hit a triple.
Right.
Right.
And I think Drake has spent the majority of his life in the U.S. now, so I think he needs to stop claiming Canada.
All right.
I would be really happy.
Let's show people. Y'all can keep that.
Exactly.
Porsche.
Porsche.
He is the sixth god.
Yo, we really fighting over
God only.
Drake. Like y'all like
We telling her to keep him.
But even with the Chance the Rappers, the J. Cole's, the Kendricks, I am happy that hip hop is getting back to a time where I don't feel like we're having to have those conversations about some of the biggest rappers in the game. You know, we don't have to say, is J. Cole real? It seems like he raps about what he raps about. Like, I don't feel like Kendrick comes off like I'm this gangbanger, whatever. I feel like, so I do think it's good that we are getting back to a place to where the biggest rappers, we don't have to question anymore, their validity, or like how Nick and Vern was saying earlier, the rappers I mess with don't talk about that. You know, you don't really have to worry about the Roots getting jumped on the road because the Roots don't talk about nothing. You don't have to worry about, Tribe. Sad part was Tribe getting jumped and taking that iJammy off that thing. But for the most part, you didn't really have to worry about that unless you was talking shit. All right, so we're good on everything. Angie, give them all the information where they can follow with you, where you're writing at, about Cheese and the Crush podcast. Give them everything.
All right, so I'm at weeklyrapgods.com. I'm on insomniacmagazine.com. My username is always Hypnotic1. I'm newer on Twitter. I've only been on Twitter since like December. I'm on Instagram. You could find me on there under Hypnotic too. And then I collab a lot with the Crush a Lot podcast. I'm basically like an honorary member. They've had me on there a few times. And then I do something on the side once in a while with Cheese from Crush a Lot, where we do the 10-minute reviews. Okay. So you could just find me pretty much everywhere except Facebook, and it's always under Hypnotic1.
All right, no doubt. Gadget, give them all the good stuff, good brother.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, every social media as Digital Hustler.
That's it.
I
mean, tell them about Scratch Magazine.
I'm still working on the first issue. I just interviewed Jansport J. He's a producer out of California. It's pretty dope. Kev Brown will be on the cover, so trying.
All right, and where can we get these Philadelphia hats in order to get
dirty? You get the Philadelphia hat. No, I'm messing with you.
DirtyAvenueClothing.com.
All right,
Dirty Avenue Clothing.
Yes, sir.
All right, bet.
All right, cool.
And you have a special way you spell Digital Hustler on Instagram?
Spelled correctly.
Okay, yeah, I have to check. Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut anyone off, but can I just spell mine too? Because people get confused with my name.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's HIPNOTIK and the number 1.
All right.
Yeah, because I damn sure spelled that wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just want to make
I'm
it
just
clear
saying.
so there's no confusion.
All right, Rhett, give them all the info, good brother.
All right, so Kill kicked my ass last week, man. I'm actually working on this website.
No, I didn't kick
Hey, bro, I got the website. It's worldwiderec1.com. I got it. I just need help. I'm working on it.
All right.
The website will be up, real talk. For right now, if you need to hit me up, is Twitter at DJRec1, and IG is Worldwide Rec1.
All right, no doubt. Nick, give them everything, good brother.
You know how it goes. You're gonna link it up. You have it in the link.
All right.
Twitter and Instagram.
All right, Porsche.
At Drake is not from Canada. on Twitter and IG. Sorry, I had to. Kill will post it.
Yo, just a 2-minute soliloquy, like 2 minutes. Like I'm gonna start the stopwatch. When did you stop? When did you realize you don't like Drake at all?
As soon as I heard his first single. I can't remember what year that was. I remember exactly where I was. 2009. It was 2009, and I remember I was outside. It was like, I don't know. It was
Best
nice out. And I was with a bunch of friends, and Drake comes on, and these people are like, this is the newest guy. He's going to be great. And I was like, oh, dope. Let me hear. And I was like, are you guys for real? And then I was like, nah, you got to shut this off. Someone put in big. And then they were like, no, you don't know. This is going to be the best dude out there. That he's going to like kill all the charts. And they weren't wrong, but I can't.
He's been dominated for a decade.
Can't listen to him. I can't even stomach listening to the guy. He's so horrific. He's horrific.
Yo, Porsche, I was really waiting on you because you really know this day. I was expecting you to be like, yo, it was a cumulus clouds. It was
I mean, it was stars were out.
Going down, and we had just lit a fire in the backyard.
I honestly remember exactly the feeling I had. I was like, are you guys, I looked at everybody and I was like, okay, we can't be friends at all. Wow. And these people are Drake stans, like true Drake stans.
You have a problem with Premier producing for him?
I mean, that's another show.
What?
Nick done shut it down. Okay, Nick.
I think that would be dope. And I'm not a Drake fan. I think
he did.
He did a joint for him.
I ain't heard it yet.
He did 2 joints on the last album, didn't he?
I thought he only did one, but
he did one for sure.
All I have to say is Premier isn't even Pete Rock and Premier aren't even enough to get me to listen to Drake. That's all I'm gonna say.
Wow.
Sorry. Hard pass.
They got me.
Wow.
All right. Okay. Vern, give them all the information, good brother. Remember, white people buy houses too.
Hey man, you said the thing about white women. I didn't. So that's you. I'm like Jesus loved the little children, red, yellow, black, and white. They all precious in my sight. Come on.
Get the bags, brother. Get the bags.
Brother. My sneakers too.
That's it. On Instagram at V the Loan Closer. Twitter is V Chandler 10, I believe.
All right, no doubt. If y'all are in Georgia, anywhere, y'all need to get at Vern. If you're looking to buy a house, looking to relocate, that is the closer right there. Y'all already know this with me, Kill889 on Twitter and IG. I will catch y'all next week, y'all.
See ya.
Dope show. And thank you for hanging out, Miss. How was it?
It was dope.